Up, I had the habit of projecting when I sit down. I call them more social tones. Like many of us, my first instinct is to always tell a funny story. And so I'll start with one of them that I hear every time we get together. I personally don't remember it. I went to school over at Abilene, and a few months back I was talking to a friend from there, and she just died laughing and said, "Hey, you remember back when you did whatever?" And I said, "No, and I wish you didn't remember it either." Life has a lot of those memories, right? But family, one of the great things is that those memories, however we've reviewed them at the time, they become favorites over the years. And this is one I honestly don't remember, but I hear about it a lot. We were out in the garden doing something in the garden, and it wasn't too long till church time, and of course the chores were never done. We were all out there hurrying, and I reached down to pick up a rotten tomato, and the garden fence was the edge of the pasture, so we just tossed things over for the horses to eat. So I reached down and grabbed this rotten tomato and just fired it over. And Mom raised up about that time, and that tomato caught her right in the side of her hair. And the way everybody else remembers it, she was all dressed up for church. And she was not happy. The last time we talked about that, before just a couple weeks before she passed on, that story came up again. And she said, "I was glad I hadn't done my hair yet, or I would have been really mad." So we all remember things a little bit differently. And I'm sure at that moment, that wasn't one of the favorite family times, but it's one that people still like to laugh about. Mom was really good about laughing and about working. A year or so before she passed on, she and I got out, and I had a trailer on behind my four-wheeler, and we were going down through the ditches with the loppers, clearing out the brush. I was chopping, and Mom was dragging it up and throwing it in the trailer. She was going up and down this little hillside in the ditch, and she said, "Well, I need to stop." And I looked over, and her leg was swollen up about this big. She'd been going up and down that hill just dragging brush and never said anything. That was her. I don't think she ever stopped working. That last summer, before she passed, we refinished a bed that they had bought back before I was born. And I've done furniture refinishing, she had done some. And we were trying to figure out how to do this one part, get the old paint out from down in the cracks of the turned spindle down at the end of the bed. And I figured out early in this process that if I didn't give her something she could do the next morning, she might get into something she shouldn't. And so, sure enough, I woke up about 8 or 9 the next morning, and she'd gotten up at 5 or 6 and had gotten out there and had finished up that process. She stayed up late working. She got up early and worked. She was good-humored. And going back to that tomato story, I don't think I ever heard her in later years carry a mean word about anything, including that getting hit in the head with a tomato. But she was an awfully good mother. I think ethically I don't know that I ever saw her do anything ethically questionable. And as much as it seemed like she griped at us when we were little, when I look back, she was awfully patient with all the stuff we did. And the older I've gotten, the more stories I've heard about what she did with other people and for other people. And she just lived a very good life, a life of kindness, a life of other-centeredness. Most recently, when we've been reading through a book she wrote in high school about what she wanted her life to be like, it was clear that from her early years as a teenager, she was focused on God and what she thought life ought to be as a godly woman. And like the greatest of lessons, hers weren't preached, they were shown. She did a wonderful job.
Well, as always, being the youngest, your older brother steals your story. I will say I tell it much better. That was what I fell down on the ground laughing. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I think Dad did too. I don't think anybody else did. At any rate, no, I love would have loved this. She loved nothing more than getting together with people in fellowship. And, you know, a lot of being the youngest, you live with the lessons that were learned. And one of the ones that has always stuck with me as I try to entertain or be, around gatherings like this is, Mom knew how to do a potluck. And she knew how to do a potluck better than just about anybody I've ever known. And a lot of it came from early on having an event where the preacher dropped by and there wasn't enough food. And having to go back into the back and open up another can of vegetables just so there was another side. And I just was thinking, I can't ever remember a time when there weren't at least enough food and leftovers to have a whole other dinner for whoever was there. It didn't matter how many people were there. And even to this day, I'll be cooking and cook enough for an army, because that's how I learned to do it. I learned to do it from Mom, and it's just, she was an absolutely wonderful teacher and taught me many things that, I don't even remember that I was taught in many ways, but it was that lesson of that life well lived. And, there was a lot of fun, but there was a lot of hard work. And as the last slave, I was the one that got not even suborned or dragged into it. I was just kind of, you better be there when the day starts at dark 30. And we must have canned 1,000 cans of something every year I was growing up. And it taught me many things in my career, but the number one thing it taught me was I want to have a job that has air conditioning. That's kind of stuck with me. But, all of you are part of that great family legacy, and I just am happy that we got the chance to be down here and share this time.